Across Guangdong Province, China, a severe weather system developed that combined intense rainfall with strong typhoon-level wind gusts, which disrupted daily life, transportation, and infrastructure across multiple cities. The weather system was characterized by heavy rain that fell in concentrated bursts and wind gusts that reached significant strength in several areas. The combination of wind and rain created conditions that were hazardous for both property and movement. In cities including Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Dongguan, and surrounding districts, rainfall began as moderate showers but intensified in a short period. Downpours developed quickly, with rain rates that exceeded the capacity of urban drainage systems in some locations. Water accumulated on streets, particularly in low-lying areas and underpasses, where the existing infrastructure could not drain rainfall fast enough. The result was surface water that affected roads used by commuters, public transport, and emergency response vehicles. At the same time, wind conditions strengthened in association with the storm. Across the affected region, wind gusts at times reached levels that local weather services described as unusually strong for a convective storm system. In places such as Foshan, wind measurements exceeded 30 meters per second in certain intervals, demonstrating forceful atmospheric movement that required attention from authorities and residents alike. These wind speeds approached levels more commonly associated with stronger weather systems, though they were produced by localized convective activity rather than a tropical cyclone. The wind had tangible effects on the physical environment. In urban sectors, roadside trees were reported to have fallen or to have branches broken by gusts. In some cases, fallen trees obstructed roadways, leading local traffic authorities to close lanes temporarily, while crews worked to remove the trees and ensure safe passage for vehicles. Where trees leaned or fell near residential or business premises, property damage, such as dented vehicles and broken outdoor fixtures, was recorded. Wind-driven impacts also affected lightweight and unsecured structures. In construction zones, barriers, signage, and temporary fencing were shifted or displaced by the combined action of wind and rain. In commercial areas, outdoor signs and mounted fixtures showed evidence of loosening or partial detachment. Municipal maintenance teams were deployed to inspect, secure, or remove unstable objects that posed hazards to pedestrians and vehicles. Buildings experienced a range of impacts related to wind strength and rainfall intensity. In some districts, windows of lower-rise buildings were broken by wind-borne debris or by pressure fluctuations associated with sudden gusts. Exterior panels and facade elements were displaced in a number of cases, necessitating inspection by building safety personnel. On higher floors, outdoor items such as planters and pieces of unsecured equipment were dislodged by gusts and required removal to prevent further risk. The interaction between rain and wind also affected transportation systems. On surface streets, accumulating water slowed traffic and contributed to congestion, particularly where fallen trees and roadside debris reduced available lanes. Transit operators reported delays on bus routes as vehicles negotiated waterlogged surfaces and obstacles. On rail systems, parts of the network experienced temporary service interruptions as a precautionary measure due to overhead line concerns and trackside hazards. Airport operations in affected areas likewise adjusted departures and arrivals in response to strong wind advisories and reduced visibility caused by heavy rain. Public utilities were influenced by the conditions as well. Power lines in certain districts experienced strain where wind-blown branches came into contact with overhead cables. This led to localized outages and fluctuations in supply as electrical crews worked to isolate damaged lines and restore service. Maintenance teams coordinated with traffic and emergency services to prioritize repairs in areas where multiple systems were affected. Emergency response coordination was activated as reports of wind and rain impacts accumulated across multiple jurisdictions. Municipal authorities deployed crews to address fallen trees, clear blocked roads, and secure infrastructure that posed ongoing risk. Traffic management units adjusted signal timing and rerouted vehicles to minimize exposure to hazardous segments. Public advisories remained in effect throughout the storm period, with weather services repeatedly urging residents to stay indoors when possible and to avoid unnecessary travel until conditions stabilized. As the storm system moved eastward and the most intense conditions eased, the effects of both rain and wind remained visible. Streets that had been flooded required assessment before normal traffic volumes could resume. Trees that had been destabilized by saturated soil and repeated wind stress were monitored for delayed failure, and buildings that experienced exterior damage were inspected before reoccupation where necessary. In the aftermath of the event, local authorities conducted reviews of infrastructure performance and emergency response actions. Public notices highlighted the importance of timely reporting of damaged structures and unsafe conditions. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe.